the woman unexpectedly discovered her name wasn't on the marriage certificate at all. The 5-year marriage turned out to be a lie. Her husband had never truly loved her. The next day she decided to become a fairy again. Enduring the heart-wrenching pain, she severed the last bit of lingering affection for her husband, putting on her fairy clothes once more to attend her homecoming celebration. She would make the scumbag regret it for a lifetime. At this point, the scumbag still wanted to lash out at her at the banquet, but was pushed away by the guards. Hearing the guards respectfully address her as their master, the scumbag finally realized the wife he had always looked down upon was actually a woman he could never hope to be worthy of. It turned out 10 years ago, just because the man had secretly taken her photo and praised her as the most beautiful woman in the world, she had fallen in love, willing to seal her divine powers, hiding her fairy identity to be an ordinary wife. For the past 5 years she had given up dressing up, wholeheartedly taking care of household chores, helping her husband start from nothing and become a business empire, thinking they would grow old together. She never imagined the scumbag would start despising her, not even willing to touch her. She had thought it was because of work pressure, until she discovered she was pregnant, originally wanting to surprise the scumbag. Instead she caught him cheating with the scheming woman. Hearing those words of love that had once belonged to her, she finally understood the truth. Heartbroken and devastated, she went to the hospital to abort the child, insisting on the abortion despite the doctor's attempts to dissuade her. Then she removed all her seals, preparing to return to the heavenly realm. At this time her successor came to find her, saying the outside world all wanted to see her, but Ji-yeon hurriedly set the homecoming celebration for 7 days later. Afterwards the woman temporarily turned back into her plain appearance, returning home to see an even more disgusting scene: the scumbag fooling around with the scheming woman. Seeing this, the scumbag hurriedly explained, but the woman acted completely indifferent. Faced with provocation, she still turned away without any reaction. It wasn't until late at night that the husband came to console her with false intentions, actually wanting her to accompany guests and drink at the banquet, to fawn over clients and get the company listed. She endured the disgust and agreed. The next day when she went to buy clothes, she found the bank card had been emptied, and happened to see the scumbag lavishing money on the scheming woman, buying her luxury goods, thinking of how she could only wear cheap clothes from street stalls, and how he had tricked her into signing for a $2 million debt. So she immediately went to the company to confront the scumbag in the name of his wife. As a result, the employees informed her the scheming woman was actually the scumbag's fiancé. After saying this, the employee took out their phone to show the woman. The scumbag had attributed all the credit to the scheming woman, but no one knew it was the woman who had accompanied clients and drinking until she vomited blood to secure the orders. Just as the scumbag discovered the woman, he was in the middle of discussing cooperation with the leader. Afraid of affecting his image, he refused to acknowledge her as his wife. Afterwards, the scumbag pulled the woman aside, making up an excuse saying it was for the company, kneeling and begging her not to make a scene, then turning around to accompany the leader. Until late at night, the scumbag still hadn't returned, and no one answered the phone. So she took out the marriage certificate, wanting to recall their past happy moments. Who would have thought she'd find their names weren't on it at all? Thinking back to how the scumbag had adamantly refused to let her see the marriage certificate, she finally understood this marriage had been a scam from start to finish. Then the woman packed her bags, planning to leave for good. The next day the homecoming celebration arrived. Enduring the intense pain, she completely severed her emotional ties, attending in full splendor. The man still wanted to come lecture her, but was pushed away by the guards. Then he heard them address her as master. The scumbag finally understood the wife he had always despised was now someone he could never hope to be worthy of.